Hey guys, welcome back to the Blade Bloodhound. Tonight we're going to talk about a classic knife. I have a lot of these. I'm sure you probably do too. If you have a knife collection or if you like knives in any way, you've had an old-timer knife in some time of your life. It's a knife like your granddad used, your dad, your uncle, somebody in your family had one of these. And anyway, let's go over to the table and take a look at it, and I'll tell a quick story with it. All right, guys, let's take a look at this old timer. So like I was saying earlier, if you even like knives or have been around knives any part of your life, you've came across an old timer pocket knife. I mean, they are the classic. To me, the first knife I ever started collecting, believe it or not. When I was young, old timers they were a fairly, I won't say a cheap knife. They're really well built. I mean, an old timer will last forever, have great snap, not a lot of issues with them. When I first started collecting, they were a inexpensive knife, I should say. So, being a young boy, starting out, you don't have a lot of cash when you're a kid. So I would save money up and I would get old timer knives. So I have a very large collection of them. But this one in particular, my dad gave me. He gave it to me when I was pretty young. I started collecting, very, very young. And he gave me this one. And I'm sure he probably got it used somewhere. I don't know where he got it, to be honest with you. But the reason I know this is the exact one is this paint right here. So that's been on there. I bet I was 14 years old when I got this. Maybe, yeah, probably around 14. I'd already started collecting knives, but he had brought me this one home. And anyway, it had that paint on it. And being young, I didn't worry about, getting it off. I wasn't that picky. And anyway, I just never did. As I got older and started collecting and getting a bunch of these here and there, I said, this is a good way for me to know that this is the one that I carried around when I was a 14-year-old boy. But let's look at the knife. As you can see, has a nice full blade here. We're going to zoom in on the tang. This one is marked Schrade, New York, USA, 80 or 8 OT. I used to always say 80T, but actually I think it's 8 as in the number 8 with old timer. The OT stands for old timer, so it's not part of, I'd always try to make it 80 as a kid, but it's not. But anyway, it has the main blade there. We're gonna flip it over. It has the little patina. Like I told you, I've had this knife for about as long as I can remember. You've got a good sheep's foot blade here. It's got a little patina to it too, but I don't care. It's one of my originals, and I wouldn't sell it for anything. I'll always have this one. As I was telling you earlier, they always have good snap. The old spay blade here. It's not marked either. But one thing about these old timer knives is they're easy to sharpen. If you do not know how to sharpen a knife and you want to practice, the best thing for you to do is get a carbon steel old timer. Of course, I would say get the USA version. They make them in China now, so somehow they bought the old timer name. And anyway, once they got it, the knives are probably still good, but they're just not the USA ones. They're not the old style. They're not the ones that are collectible, and they're not going to be collectible later on either, I don't believe. So, I just wanted to show y'all this one. We hadn't done any old timers. Now, since I always tease y'all about how the Blade Bloodhound, finding deals and all that good stuff. Now, this is a perfect way to find a knife. Whenever I do a search on eBay, people misspell Schrade more than any word that I know. Sometimes they'll put Schrader, sometimes they'll put Shrade. If you just type in any of them variations, I guarantee you're gonna find some old timers out there or some Schrade knives. And a lot of times you can get a great deal because, somebody that's typing it in correctly, that might not pull up for them. So guys, anyway, here's the knife. It's a big Stockman. They make a medium, smalls. I've got all flavors. We'll go over those another day, I'm sure. But today we'll just go over this one. It's got the long fingernail pull. I like that straight pull. Back here it doesn't have the straight pull. It has the moon shape, as I call it. But it's just a cool knife. I promise you, if you use a knife, if you want to work, have a knife in your pocket, and you want a good one, you cannot go wrong with an old timer. Old Timer, Uncle Henry, all those brands by Schrade. Schrade made some great knives, and I hate that they're not made in the USA anymore, but hey, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you on the next video.